Okay, I'm live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. You are welcome. Good afternoon. I trust you're doing well. I hope you all can hear me. I hope you can hear me on Facebook as well. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so let me just welcome. Okay, so I'll just leave this here. Welcome. Good to see you all. It's good to be back here on Instagram Live again. So we've been on Facebook with our live sessions, and I just thought, I could also stream the session here as well on Instagram. So welcome, everybody. We're not going to be here for too long. So I'm just going to go right in. How has your day been? I hope you are having a great day. I hope your day is unfolding beautifully. Thank you so much for joining. I want you to share this video. I want you to tag any parent, who will love to be a part of this. Today we're talking about something very interesting. We're talking about the things that parents are doing that could be sabotaging their relationship with their children. All right, so we love our children, but there are things that we do that are making our children move farther away from us, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So for those who don't know me, my name is Sandra Oluwadari, and I am a parenting coach and a child behavior consultant and the founder of Winning in Parenting. Yes, so I'm up for all things positive parenting. I work with parents, and I also work with children as well. All right, so I'm just going to go right in. Welcome, everybody. And yes, you might need to note the points that I'm going to be sharing. Now, connection with our children is, I'm going to be looking both ways because I'm on Instagram and on Facebook right now. Oh, good afternoon, madam. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I see you all. Thank you so much. So connection with our children is something that we really need to be heavy on. Like, we need to be heavy on our connection with our children, because that is like the bedrock of a parent-child relationship. All right, when that connection is there, the child feels secure, the child feels loved, the child feels accepted. So you by connecting with your child, you are actually setting up your child for success. By connecting with your child, you're actually paving the way, giving the child a good footing, right, where he can actually stand on to thrive in life. So when we talk about a wholesome child development, it entails a lot. It's not about you providing food, shelter, basic needs, healthcare, and all of that. It's way more than that. You can provide all of those things and still be sabotaging the well-being of your child. You can provide all of those things and still be damaging the personality of that child. And so it's a holistic point of view that we really need to be intentional about. Now, you want a child to develop, to become a confident young man or a confident young lady. It's not just about the schools you put the child in. It's also about your own actions as a parent, because everything you do on a daily basis is programming your child. Whatever you see your child do today, before you start pointing fingers, out there, we need to point these fingers back to ourselves as parents. We need to check ourselves. We need to check our environment. We need to check the adults that we have allowed these children to be exposed to. We need to check, the people that they interact with, because The children are here, they are in your home, but there's a world they are in. There are people who are around them. So before we start pointing fingers, say, oh, this school, or this teacher, or this nanny is doing this to my child and all of that, we also need to point the fingers back at us to ensure that we are actually programming the child with the right, with the right, what will I say now? With the right tools in place, because you can actually be loving up on your child, giving the child everything the child needs, but you are damaging the self-esteem of the child. So you are building with one hand and you are actually pulling down what you are building with the second hand. So this is so important. Your parent-child relationship may actually cause more harm than good if you are not sure of what you're doing. Sorry, I'm looking both ways because I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. You can be hurting your child. You can be doing a lot of things that are pushing the child away just because of how you are relating with the child. So I'm quickly going to be sharing with us 7 tips that will tell you that you are actually doing more harm than good to your relationship with your child. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is your inconsistency. Children need parents who are consistent. Children they're not asking for too much. They're not asking you for too much. They're not asking you to be a perfect parent. They are not asking you to be the best parent in the world. All they want is a present, consistent parent. Somebody that can see them, hear them, love them. How consistent are we as parents? How consistently do you show up? Do you say what you mean? Do you mean what you say? Or you just say it, you just say it as it comes. You keep promising, making promises and all of that you have no intention of fulfilling. These are the things that your children are looking out for. Children, they don't need too much. They don't need so much of your gift, except you have raised them to become entitled, so that they don't get satisfied with whatever you give to them. But they don't need so much, right? Just be consistent. Say what you mean and mean what you say. By the time you keep going against your word, you say something and then you go back to do another thing, you are hampering your relationship with that child. You are pushing that child away, because the child needs a parent he can trust. The child needs a parent he can count on. But when you are inconsistent, the child knows that, okay, you know what? I don't even know what she's going to say. She can say this thing today and the next minute she says something else. So I better look for somebody who is reliable. That is what our children, are going to be thinking about when we go about going against our word over and over again. So it's important that we stay consistent. If you're not consistent, you are exposing your children to challenging behaviors, right? You are actually giving them opportunities. You are creating a platform, directly or indirectly, for them to begin to breed behaviors that are not supposed to be in place in the first place. Do you understand? So it is so important that we stay consistent. Now, I want you to also understand that children, they need to know what to expect. So if a child wakes up in the morning, the child needs to have an idea of what's going to happen, in the day. The child needs to have a picture, even if it's not in its entirety. The child needs to have a picture of what to expect. So this is what happens every Tuesday in our home. This is what happens every weekend and all of that. That's all about consistency. The child needs to see that, you are actually doing something. You are building on something, and you are not just doing it for yourself. You're not just doing it to help you as you raise your children, but you are also modeling something positive for them to copy. You are modeling something positive that they can also take on, right? Because consistency is a virtue. Consistency is a skill. It is something that we all need to thrive in life. For somebody who is not consistent, At the first sight of challenge, they are going to fall apart. At the first sight of, despair, I mean, they're going on about the task, and then they encounter challenges and all of that. They are going to fall apart. They will give up. Oh, I can't do this anymore and all of that. That's because that skill of consistency has not been built into them. In fact, they have not even seen it being modeled by you, who is in their immediate environment, which is the home. So it's very important that we stay consistent as parents. Now, the second thing you are doing that might be, sabotaging your relationship with your child is when you are trying to raise all your children with a one-size-fits-all strategy. You are trying to raise them with a one-size-fits-all approach. I mean, children are unique in their own ways. Every child is fearfully and wonderfully made. Every child they have their own essence. They are unique in every sense of the word. They have different personality types. We have the children who are naturally withdrawn. They keep to themselves. They are fine all by themselves. They enjoy their own company and all of that. And then we have children who cannot be by themselves. We have children who always want to be in the company of people. We have children who, they are so boisterous. They are so vivacious. They are just in your face. They just want to be everywhere at all times. And then you have the very sensitive children. There's no way you can raise these different personalities the same way. You cannot raise them successfully the same way. If you can have the same strategy, but you cannot use the same approach, because you are going to end up hurting each of those children. So for the child who is vivacious, the child is very playful. I mean, the child doesn't get, no matter what you say, the child, it doesn't get hurt. No matter what you say, the child is just still playful and all of that. And then for this kind of child, you want to scold the child, you reprimand the child is still okay. But if you do that to your sensitive child, like the child who is very outspoken and all of that, you can actually correct the child in the presence of his siblings. You can, scold the child and the child is fine. But if you do that to a sensitive child, you will break the spirit of that child. If you do that to a sensitive child, that child might not forgive you for a long time, because the child expects that. You know the kind of person I am. Why are you scolding me in public? Why are you speaking to me this way in public? So it's important that you understand that you can actually use the same strategy to raise all of your children, but the approach is definitely going to differ because of the different personalities you are dealing with. Every child is fearfully and wonderfully made. Every child is special in their own way. And so to get the result you want, you need to separate your techniques. You are on the same strategy when it comes to discipline. You're on the same strategy when it comes to affirmation, but your approach definitely has to suit the individual needs of the children in question. And then the third thing you are doing that is sabotaging your relationship with your child is that you are invalidating their emotions. Dear parents, every emotion that a child expresses is valid. Every emotion a child expresses is valid. They can express their emotions as much as they want, even if it is anger, if it is frustration, sadness, happiness, whatever it is, they are free to express their emotions. Please do not shut them down. Do not say, oh, why are you crying? Or a child comes back to you, her bottle is broken, or her cutlery got broken in school, and the child is crying, the child is so furious, and you're like, hey, what's the problem? And the child's like, oh, I broke my bottle, my cutlery got missing, and all of that. You're like, is that why you are crying? We have so many other cutleries at home. There are so many other bottles at home. No, you are invalidating the emotions of that child. Yes, I know you want to affirm the child, at that point. I know you want to tell the child that, oh no, darling, you don't need to cry. We have some others. we have some other, cutleries and all of that. You don't need to cry. Yes, I know it's good to affirm the child, but don't make the child feel like that emotion is not relevant. Everybody has the right to feel their emotions. Everybody has the right to express their emotions. As a person, okay, so let me use you as an example. For instance, you are feeling a particular way, maybe in your workplace. You keep feeling this way and you are trying to express yourself that, you know what, I love my job, but I don't like the way this person speaks to me in this office. I don't like it. And you go, you complain to HR, you complain to the right quarters, and nobody is listening to you. How would you feel? Or they're just telling you, they're saying, you know what, just take it as it is. Just take it as it is. Don't worry. It's normal. It will pass. How would you feel? You're going to feel unheard. You're going to feel unseen. You're going to feel irrelevant. You're going to feel like, oh, you don't matter. Your opinion does not count. Yeah, so that is how we make our children feel when we show their emotions. That's how we make them feel when we make them feel like, oh, you're crying too much. You're just acting up. Oh, you're exaggerating. I mean, we have so many other cutleries. You can get another one. Yeah, it's good to affirm them, but at first, put yourself in their shoes. Let them know that you understand what they are going through. What you are doing is that you are removing your child from that point of helplessness that he or she is in, and you are bringing them over to your side, or vice versa. It's either you're bringing them over to your side or you are taking yourself over to their side. All right? By validating their emotions, that is what you are doing, right? And, no true win really happens when you and your child are apart, when you are on different teams. Because, when it's like that, one person wants to win, you're like, I got her. I need to let her know that I'm her mom. I'm the boss here, and all of that. And your child too will say, you know what? We are going to do this power struggle. I will drag this woman. Like, no. You say yes, the child is saying no. You say yes, the child is saying no. And then you go on and on and on. But when you simply acknowledge the feelings of your child, oh, you misplaced your cutleries, or you broke your bottle and all of that. I understand and I feel you. Okay, so you know what? We have some others, all right? I'll give you another one, right? Just don't invalidate the child's emotion. What you do when you do that is that you are shutting down the communication lines in your home. You are shutting down the communication lines in your relationship. You are telling them that, hey, you don't need to express your emotions. You don't need to express how you feel because it is not important. And if you are doing that because that child is still young, trust me, you are laying a solid foundation. Because when the child is 12 years old, when that child is 8 years old, when that child is a full-blown teenager, and the child is in a space where he's being taken advantage of, the child is in a space where he is being relegated to the background, the child will not speak up. The child will not speak up because you have made him understand that his emotions are not valid. You have made him understand that his emotions are uncalled for. You have made him understand that his emotions are out of place, right? Because you never allowed him express his emotions. Whenever he wanted to express his emotions, you made him feel like, oh, it's not necessary, it's not important. Oh, let me just affirm you. Oh, you are so strong. You are beautiful. You are this or that. But you never acknowledge that emotion in the first place. So what you are doing is that you are shutting down the feelings of your child. And when the child grows up, the child becomes a full-blown lady, becomes a full-blown man. I mean, they're going to be riding on the child. He won't say anything because he has been brought up to understand that, hey, your emotions can as well be silenced. And this is not a good position we want to put our children in. This is one of the major things that sabotages our relationship with our children. All right, this is so important. Never ever dismiss the feelings or the emotions of your child, no matter how babyish it looks, no matter how babyish it sounds, right? Don't dismiss their emotions. It kills them. All right. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing I want to talk about is that you are constantly comparing your children to other people. I mean, what's the basis of the comparison? Why are you comparing your child to other people? Every child is fearfully and wonderfully made. Every child is here on an assignment. Every child, yes, when they get here, they can collaborate, they can, join forces, to fulfill destiny and all of that. But hey, every child is here on their own assignment. God has put something huge in each child. They don't need to be like another person. You can have 4 children with 4 different personalities in your home. Their personality is not answerable to any other person. That is how they are. Our duty is to guide them. Our duty is to ensure that no matter how they are, no matter their personality type, if it is something that is not socially fit, we can now begin to see how we can engineer them to, serve humanity with their personality in a way that is socially fit. All right, our duty is not to start saying, look at this other child. Can't you see how this child is behaving? Can't you see how this child is reacting to situations and all of that? Why are you so petty? Why are you so this? Why are you so that? And all of that. When you do this, you are telling your children that they need to work harder to earn your trust. When you keep comparing your children, you're telling them that, oh, my baby boy, you are not there yet. You need to work harder before mommy can see you. You need to strive, harder. You need to do so much to get to this point where I can begin to say, oh yeah, that's my son, that's my daughter. Do you understand? When you keep comparing your children, that is what you are telling them. You are telling them that they are not enough. You are telling them that they need to work harder. They need to do much more. And I mean, every child needs to be loved unconditionally. No child needs to do anything extra to earn your trust. No child needs to do anything extra to earn your love. So long as you are their parent, they deserve your unconditional love. In fact, it is one of their human rights. I usually say it is one of their fundamental human rights. All right. So when you keep comparing or measuring the character of your child to another child, yeah, it's good to have role models. It's good to have, teen mentors for your child. Like, okay, so you have a child who is 6 years old, and then you have this teenager that with very beautiful character and all of that. Yeah, that teenager, can actually be like a mentor to your child, but that's another thing entirely. It's not you comparing your child to that person. Can't you see the way this one dresses? Can't you see how this one talks to his parents? Why are you just like this? If you want to correct your child, correct the child. But don't break the spirit of that child with comparison. Every child is different. You can have a bookworm in your home. You can have an artistically inclined child. You can have a child that does not send books. He doesn't want to learn in the conventional way. That child wants to learn artistically, creatively. That child wants to learn in nature. That child wants to learn, practically, touching things. Is probably a kinesthetic learner and all of that. But when you keep comparing, can't you see that your sister loves to read? Why don't you, that energy that you are using to compare the children, why don't you use to observe that child and discover that child's learning style, so that you can actually begin to position or create a platform for that child where he can learn properly. All right, so this is so important. Stop comparing your child to other people. It's not going to do them any good. That child is going to begin to feel worthless. That child is going to begin to feel like he's not enough. That child is going to feel like, I'm no good. And the thing is, one thing we need to be very mindful of as parents is that whatever you do, your child will confirm outside. Whatever you say to your child, there are things going on out there outside your home that will either confirm or negate those things that you say to the child. So for example, you keep comparing your child to other people, to your neighbor's child. Like, can't you see this child comes out with straight A's from the exams and all of that? This child is so organized. I went to their home that day. Everywhere was well arranged, organized, but why is it that in this our own house, the place cannot just stay arranged for 30 minutes? Why are you guys like this? And then the child goes to school. And when the child gets to school, the child is not able to properly organize his learning desk or his books. And the teacher comes again, maybe a teacher who does not really understand what it takes to positively teach a child, and that teacher goes like, what can you are so disorganized. You can't even take care of your items. I mean, you are just all over the place and all of that. The child might pass on what the teacher has said, right? The child might wave it off. But trust me, when that child goes back to his desk, he's going to remember that you said the same thing at home. And he's going to confirm that, oh yes, indeed, I am such a disorganized child. Oh yes, indeed. Maybe I'm stupid after all. Maybe I'm just so stupid and I'm no good. I'm just worthless. That is what that child is going to be saying to himself. So what are you saying to your child? Can you please turn on the AC? So what are you saying to your child? What are you, by comparing your child, you are sowing seeds, you are leaving deposits that will be regurgitated when the need arises by the time that child is outside. By the time the child hears something similar outside, it's going to regurgitate what you have told him, and he's going to confirm that, oh yes, this is the label that I am indeed. So stop comparing your children. Rather, work on them, work with them, collaborate with them to prune them. I mean, that's why we're their parents. Collaborate with them to prune them to become better versions of themselves, instead of constantly reminding them of how much they need to work hard to earn your trust and your love. So that's the fourth thing we do. And then the fifth thing we do that sabotages our relationship with our children is that we keep rubbing their mistakes in their face. Dear parents, we look at our children as, oh, they are young. What do they know? I can talk to them as they like. After all, I'm their mom and all of that. Oh my God, that is so wrong. I mean, let's put you on the spotlight. Let's put me on the spotlight. How would you feel if somebody, now you apologize for your conduct, maybe at the office, at your workplace, you did something that wasn't really good, and then you apologized, you made your employer understand that it was a mistake and all of that. And then, 2 weeks down the line, something happens. Probably it's not even about you, but when the discussion is ongoing, they bring up your case, they bring up the mistake you made, and then they talk about it. And then where you're standing, you're like, but I apologize, must this come up again? And then you wave it off. The next meeting, they bring it up again. The next meeting, they keep bringing it up. Whenever you make another mistake, they're like, why are you like this? That's what you did the other time. You did it the next time. You did it, and how would you feel? Now that's what we do to our children sometimes. We keep rubbing their mistakes on their face. Dear parents, whether you are joking or whether you are serious, don't reel out the history of the past mistakes of your children. It's not going to help them in any way. And how is it helping you? It's just making you feel good. It's just making you feel good at that particular instance. It's just making you, diffuse your anger or your frustration, right? It's not adding to you, it's not adding to your child. You are reading out their history of past mistakes. That was how you did this the other day. You are demoralizing those children, and you are pushing them farther away from you. What is it going to, how much benefit is it going to create? When you keep recounting your children's mistakes and you are holding it against them, you are telling them this is what you did and all of that. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. If I apologize, forgive me and let's move on. You don't need to keep rubbing it in my face all the time, right? It's very demoralizing for our children, and trust me, as a child counselor, I can tell you that this is one of the things that push children away from their parents. We need to be very mindful of this. If you have forgiven your children, move on. Don't keep telling them their life history of how they broke the plates last week and how they broke the mop stick and all of that. It's not necessary. Rather, focus. Remember, discipline should focus on redirecting your child's behavior to do the right thing. Not shaming, not labeling or name calling and killing the child's spirit. So how do you want the child to go out there and change the world? How do you want the child to go out there confident and saying, oh, I can take on challenges, I can be all I want to be? How? When you have told the child all his mistakes. That's what the child is going to be remembering. Do not forget that I said earlier in this session that whatever you do on a daily basis is either programming your child positively or negatively. So we want to be very mindful, we want to be very conscious and cautious of our actions as we relate to our children. And then the next thing that you are doing that could be sabotaging your relationship with your child is that you are not actively present. Now, there's a difference between being present and being actively present. Now, most times we find parents are home with their children. In fact, we even have some parents who will stay with their children 24 hours, 7 days a week, but they are not present. So it's not about how many hours you spend with your children. It's not about the fact that, oh, I'm always with them at all times. Do they feel your presence? Do they really understand? Do they really see that you are present? Because, we all can be seated here and we are still in our own different worlds. We all can be seated here and we have different things running through our minds. All right, so you want to be actively present. You want to be mindfully present. You just don't want to be physically present. You want to take in, you want to be in the moment. Like, a lot of parents are not even seeing their children. When last did you see your child? I'm not talking, I know you saw your child this morning. Your child is probably with you right now as you're listening to this conversation, as you're listening to this session, right? But when last did you truly see your child? When last did you see your child's nose? When last did you notice your child's eyes? When last did you notice their hair? When last did you look at your child and you took in her facial appearance and like, this girl is really, she looks like me. She's really beautiful. She's really creative. I love how she does things. Like, when last did you notice your child? It's not about looking at your child. Are you seeing your child? Are you recognizing your child? And children know these things. They know. They know when you are just looking at them. They know when you are not seeing them. All right. So it is important that we take all of these things into consideration. Children, they don't want too much from you. They don't want you to come and stay with them 24 hours, 7 days a week. They just need, oh my God, children are so beautiful. They are so wonderful. They just need very little things from you. They just want you to see them and hear them. They just want to be seen and heard. They don't want all your plenty vacations and all of that. Meanwhile, it's not wrong to go on vacation and all of that. Beautiful. It's good to expose your children to different experiences in the world. It's good to buy them gifts, buy them toys and all of that. But it gets to a point where children crave for things more than that. They crave for things that are more meaningful than that. It gets to a point where they want your presence above your presence. It gets to a point where they want you to notice them. Do you notice them? If this is the only thing you take out of this session today, I'll be glad. Do you recognize them? Some children even have injuries that parents don't even know. Some children have scars on their bodies. Their parents do not even know. I'm going to say this again. When last did you notice the color of your child's eyes? When last did you notice the color of your child's hair? When last did you notice how your child speaks? Because most times these days we are with our children, but we are responding to emails. We are doing this, we are doing that. Yes. I can't blame any parent for doing that because we are in a fast-paced world today. But what I'm saying is, the time you now want to create to spend with your children, please make it count. You are sabotaging your relationship with your child when you are not actively present, when you are not mindfully present. You are present, but you are always pressing your phone. You are present, but you are always listening to one thing or the other. You are present. Your child is talking to you, and mommy, I want this and that, but you are typing, you're responding to emails, you're doing this, you're doing that. Oh, I quickly want to rush to the store. Oh, can we go together? The child just needs 10 quality minutes with you. That child has come with information. Sometimes the child has not even, sometimes the child cannot even verbalize what he wants to tell you. The child has just come and said, oh, I'm in so much pain. Somebody is assaulting me in my school. I cannot talk about it, but I just want to sit down with my mom. Let her just notice me. Oh God, let my mom just notice that I'm in pain. Let my mom just notice that I am not breathing well. Let my mom just notice that I am coughing. Let my mom just notice that whenever she says we should go and play in this person's house, let my mom just notice that I frown my face whenever she says that, oh, I can't talk about this thing. I can't tell mommy that this person is always beating me when she's not around. Oh, can my mommy just notice that I'm not comfortable around this person? That is what they are asking for. Sometimes that's all they are asking for. Please, can you help me plug this device? It's going to go off soon. You can unplug that. Sometimes that is all they are asking for. So dear parents, please, this is one of the ways we are sabotaging our relationship with our children. Please listen to them. Okay, bring it. Sorry, just a moment. So that my Facebook people don't get caught off. Please, can you bring it up a bit? Okay. Where is it? Okay. Wait. Okay, yeah, I think it's, yeah. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so, yeah, so like I was saying, this is all that they are really asking for. Sometimes they can talk. For the ones that can talk, they just want to tell you something. They just want to give you a vital information. But because we are so busy, and that's why active listening is very important. A lot of parents can hear what their children are saying, but can you hear what your child is not saying? If your child sits down with you right now and doesn't say a word, can you read her non-verbal cues? Can you read her body language? Can you decode that? No, there's something wrong with this child. But if we are too carried away, we are too busy, we are too caught up with every other thing, how would you notice these things? And these things don't slide with children. Once they notice the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time that you don't have their time, they will go. People are constantly waiting to give your child the time that you can't give them, right? I'm not saying don't go out there to fulfill potential. I'm not saying don't go out there to make ends meet or to work, but I'm saying that the few times you can create with your children, make it count. Make it quality time, right? Invest in that time as much as you can, and make sure you are carrying the child along to understand that, okay, so baby, if I'm not here for you all the time, it's because of this or that reason. But trust me, the time we're going to spend together is going to be amazing. You would love every bit of it. All right. So don't just leave them hanging. They understand these things. They can see that you are busy trying to provide and, to make them comfortable. So just tell them, carry them along instead of always responding to emails or pressing your phone or doing one thing or the other. I mean, they will, once they try once, 2, 3 times, they will go and look for people that can listen to them. And how can you trust the integrity of those other people? So we want to ensure that we own our children, not own as in that you own them, but we want to be sure that our position as their parents is standing, and unwavering. All right, that is so important. And then the last tip I'm going to talk about that sabotages your relationship with your child is when you try to control them. Please do not try to micromanage your child's life. That one will not work in this day that we are in, with the generation of children that we are raising. The generation of children that will question you. They will question your values. They will question your ideas. They will even question your faith. They will tell you, okay, so you want me to follow God, or you want me to practice this religion, so can you enlighten me? Can you tell me more about God? They will not take your ideologies hook, line, and sinker. You have to do a very good explanation, right? You need to carry them along in every way. So trying to micromanage the lives of children like this will only set you up against them. It will only push them farther away from you. Rather, seek to influence them instead of controlling them. Your life is a living example. Your life is a manual that they can read, right? Don't stress that, oh, you're talking, they're not listening to you. Concentrate, focus on your own action. What are you doing? Are they emulating? Are you showing them beautiful things to emulate? Are you giving them good things to mirror? That should be your number one focus, because you try to control your child. You control them for some time. It will get to a time they will say, hey, oh yeah, proceed no further. Proceed no further. We have had it. From here on now, I take over. Do you understand? But when you raise them with influence, you become their mentor automatically, like seamlessly. You don't even need to put yourself into that position. They will put you there themselves. They will honor you because you are walking the talk. They will honor you. They will, in fact, they will place you on a high pedestal that, it's your influence that will be doing the job, right? But when you are trying to control them, you are running from pillar to post. I say do this, I say do that, and all of that. So what happens when you are not there to pursue them? What happens when you are not there to guide them? Yeah. So rather try raising them with your influence. Yeah. There's the point where you need to control them, and it's not 100% control. Even when you're trying, especially for the young ones, because when they are developing their will as young children, at a point, you need to make them understand that you are not their friend but their parent. Yeah, that is where stubbornness starts from. If you are not able to create that boundary, if you are not able to control their will at that time, it's going to get out of hand, right? So there's a time where you effect that control, especially when they are very young, because they don't really know right or wrong, right? They still need you to make most of the decisions for them. But while you are at that point where you are making those decisions, you still want to give them some form of control. You still want to give them the opportunity to make a couple of decisions for themselves, like picking out their clothes, telling you if they want yam and egg sauce or yam and stew, if they want to pick up their toys after playing, or if they want to pick up their toys while they're playing, whatever. You just give them small choices to begin to make, yes, right? But at that point, you really need to control them, right? But as they begin to grow, you have to begin to drop that level of control so that you are not bossing them around. Yeah, even though you are the boss, you also need to understand that you are a team, right? And everybody concerned is a team player. And for you to succeed as a team, everybody needs to be carried along. In fact, to succeed as a great leader, you need to be in the moment. So you are not just leading from the top, you are also with them. You are also with the people you are leading, carrying them along, right? So seek to influence your child rather than seeking to control them, right? because I mean, you can't be there with them every waking moment of their day. What happens when they go off to boarding school? What happens when they go off to school? Will you be there to control them? But when you influence them, they see that you are a proper role model. They are learning from you even from a very young age. When they go out there and they are faced with decisions to make, they will do the right thing because they have seen the picture, right? It's not just words. It's not just empty words. They have seen you act out these things. They have seen you manage your emotions. They will do the same without you going there to say, no, don't be angry. Don't act like this. Don't kick this person. No, they know what to do because they have seen you do it. But, all of these things that I have shared takes a process, especially if you have been that parent that would usually do all of these things that I have talked about, right? But the most important thing is that it is never late to get right back on track. So if you are going to the US and then your car is facing Ibejuleki, there's no way you would ever get to the US, right? Until you turn around and go on the right direction. That's when you can even think of, getting to your destination, right? So it's the same thing. No matter how far gone we are in our parenting journey, no matter the challenges you might be faced with, it's not too late to go back and begin to do the right thing. So I want to encourage us to, go watch the video again, or if you put down some points, stay on these points and see the areas where you might need to amend so that you are not pushing your child farther away from you. Because trust me, every action you take, every word you speak, right, on a daily basis as you interact with your child is a building block on the foundation that you are erecting for your child. So you bully your child today, or you shout at your child tomorrow, or you pamper your child today, you are building a foundation, and whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you are enjoying it now, if giving them everything they are asking for is making you feel comfortable, is making you feel good, I don't want them to disturb me. You want biscuit? Take. You want drink? Take. You want TV? Take. You want that? Take. Okay, so you are giving them everything because you don't want them to disturb you. Seed time and harvest will never cease. Harvest time is coming. That means you are raising entitled children. That a time is coming you will buy, but they will never be satisfied. That is because that was the foundation you laid for them, right? So I'm encouraging every one of us on this call this afternoon, and everyone who's going to be watching the replay, to just, search yourself, right? Parenting, you never know too much. I am on a learning journey. I keep learning, right? You can never know too much because children are humans. They are not products that you can micromanage and all of that. They evolve, right? Your child who is quiet today might just grow up and show you another color tomorrow, right? So you want to be abreast of the right information that you need to raise a child who can thrive in today's world. So I'm going to stop here for today. I want you to join me again next Thursday. So I was supposed to have this session yesterday, but because I had a lot of engagements, that's why it's Friday. So it's possible we'll have this session again on Thursday next week. But of course, the information is going to be on my page. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone that joined this session. I hope you got value. Let me see your comments. Let me see your emojis if you got value from this session. I'm going to put up the replay so that you can go over the session. I shared 7 tips that shows that you are sabotaging your relationship with your children. I think this is a must-watch session, right? So please share the video, right? And if you're not following me on Instagram or on Facebook, please hit the follow button and click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any information we share. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you. I'll see you again. And then before I go, tonight. So we usually pray for our children. I have a community of parents where we gather together to pray for our children every Friday of the month, apart from the first Friday. So we gather together to pray for our children, right? We pray for every area concerning their lives. So it's not even the regular prayers that protect them, Father, protect them, and all of that. We pray prayers that need to go into their future, right? Prayers that will go and wait for them in their future. Prayers that will open doors for them, when they begin to get ahead in life. So I want to encourage you to join the prayer session. It's happening at Parents in Prayer. Just check it out on Instagram at Parents in Prayer. You can follow, let me just put it here, at Parents in Prayer. It starts at 10 p.m. So that's it, at Parents in Prayer. Yeah, so I want you to join us as we pray for our children tonight. We can never pray too much. You can pray amiss, but you can't pray too much. So I want you to join us tonight as we pray for our children. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week for another insightful session. Thank you and bye. For now, if you have any question before I end the session, please just leave it in the comments. If you have a question before I end the session, leave it in the comments. And I also have a program for children called Equipped to Thrive. It's a program where we equip and empower children with skills, resources, and tools that can help them thrive in life, right? So I know that academic education is awesome, wonderful, but we also need to educate our children in other areas. We also want to ensure that they are self-reliant. We also want to ensure that they are able to navigate through life even when you are not there. It's a total package. Like, it's a very wholesome and balanced learning experience that, we have children from different countries in the program ongoing right now, but we are starting another term on the 20th of May. So I want you to click the link in my bio on Instagram. Just click the link in my bio and you would find the details for that program. Thank you so much, and bye for now.